Turning, looking,
It is Game 2 of a crucial weekend series between the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays with major playoff implications. My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is Yankees Game Night.
It's just a reaction.
Goodness gracious! This is Yankees Game Night.
Tonight's game is brought to you by Manscaped, the world leader in male grooming products. Visit manscaped.com and use the code NYY Recaps at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. They've got everything from razors to body sprays to boxer shorts, and it's all great, and I vouch for them 100%. Visit manscaped.com, use the code NYY Recaps, 20% off and free shipping. All right. Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? Things have been rough for the Yankees for the entire second half. But in the words of the great philosopher Ice Cube, today was a good day. That was a much-needed win, and they bring that same energy that they had in the first half, and they need to bring it again tomorrow. Strong pitching, solid defense, good offense, 15 hits, 10 runs. The cavalry is beginning to return. Giancarlo Stanton had a couple of hits today, including a home run. We got some guys making rehab starts in the minor leagues. Luis Severino's on his way back. Anthony Rizzo was in the dugout today. Things are looking up. It's amazing how just the energy can change that quick. That felt like a totally different team today than we've seen recently. Fantastic performance by the Yankees. Jameson Taillon was sharp early, but Corey Kluber was not. He had his worst start as a major leaguer. Gleyber Torres, he got a base hit against the shift to make it 1-0 in the bottom of the first. That was after base hits by Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton to lead off the game. So you're thinking, hey, 3 hits in a row, that's pretty good. But the Yankees were not done. Next up was Josh Donaldson. He singled off the very top of the wall to load the bases. And as the great Ken Singleton would say, one more Cheerio this morning, and that would have been a home run. I'll say this. Josh Donaldson leads the American League in bat flips on singles. Next batter was the Wizard of Oswaldo. He roped a changeup down the right field line to drive in 2 runs and make it 3-0 Yankees. Big hit for Oswaldo. He had a couple of hits today. Miguel Andujar followed up with a frozen rope of his own up the middle to make it 4-0. IKF singled to make it 7 straight hits to begin the game for the Yankees. First time they've done that since 1990. Round of applause on that. Higashioka reached on a fielder's choice to make it 5-0. And then a couple of batters later, Aaron Judge picked up his second hit of the inning and an RBI to make it 6-0 and his 120th RBI on the year. So in between innings, Josh Donaldson must have gone back to the clubhouse and had those Cheerios because in the bottom half, he came out and did some damage.
That ball is high. It is far. It is gone.
13th home run of the season. It went about 6 inches further than his single. It's funny. Last night we talked about how he's been trying to pull the ball too much and how he should use the right side of the field more. And then today he comes right out and picks up back-to-back hits by going to the right side. He can do a lot of damage with that short porch if he would just stay with that approach. He's finally learning that, I think. Rays got a run back on a base hit by Wander Franco. That kid's been super impressive for the last couple of days. But aside from that, Jameson Taillon was terrific. Yankees got their 8th run on a wild pitch in the bottom of the 7th. Ugly slide by Donaldson, but it counts. IKF followed up with another hit and another RBI that made it 9-1. Taillon was done after 7 1/3. He left runners on 2nd and 3rd. They both came around to score. So his final line was 7 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. But overall, that's a really good performance. A lot of strikes from him today. He threw 99 pitches and 74 of them were strikes. So essentially a 75% strike ratio. I mean, that's really great. Rays went to a position player in the bottom of the 8th, and Giancarlo Stanton greeted him with a solo home run off the foul pole to make it 10-3. 25th home run of the season for Stanton. First home run in the entire second half for Stanton. Last time he went yard was the All-Star game. Last year, he carried us in the second half along with Judge. This year, he's been pretty much absent, and Judge has been on his own. But if you can get him back and swinging the bat well for the next, few weeks to a couple of months, it would be huge. He looked better today. Loaiza came in for the 9th and was electric. And the Yankees win a blowout, 10-3.
Ball game over. Yankees win. Yankees win. You're a winner.
So Sam Chrisley says that the first inning was super exciting and they came out ticked off. And I 100% agree. They looked like they had a ton of energy out of the gate. And then Rob John with a great point says Yankees 10th win over Tampa Bay, so they own the tiebreaker. So if the two teams end up with the same record in the division, then we'll have the advantage because we've won 10 games. So we're going to do something different today. We're going to have co-belts. First belt goes out to the man who started on the mound and did a fantastic job, Jameson Taillon. Just throwing tons of strikes. Had a couple of big strikeouts. Curveball looked great today. But the second belt goes out to a man who really brought a lot of energy to the team today by taking the day off, Aaron Hicks. All right, I'm just kidding. We're going to take Aaron Hicks off of there. So, anyway, Kevin Perez says, we needed this. Absolutely agree.
I wholeheartedly agree.
Look, you got yourself in a position to win tomorrow and to win the series and really take some pressure off of this team over the next several days. The Rays have a tougher schedule down the stretch. Yankees are going to have a road trip. Sounds like Luis Severino is going to make his return against Pittsburgh. So that'll be interesting. Let's take a look at the box score here. So we've got a lot of box scores to go through. All right. So Yankees win their 84th game of the season. That's against 56 losses. Win goes to Taillon. He is 13-4. ERA just a tick under 4. He's at 3.94. Corey Kluber having an okay season, 10-8, 4.36 ERA. He shut down the Yankees last time out, but today the Yankees really had his number. They were just all over Corey Kluber. Giancarlo Stanton gets a couple of hits. Aaron Judge got 3 hits. I mean, look at all the crooked numbers in the hit column. Gleyber Torres, 2 hits. Donaldson, 2 hits. Cabrera, 2 hits and 2 ribbies. He's over 200 off the interstate now. That can be a nice psychological boost. And Duhar, 2 for 4. It'd be great if he gets going. Sawbelly with the dono says, what's with all this paternity leave crap? Let the players meet the kids in October like the old days. Oh, man. That's funny. Sam Chrisley with another good point says that the Yankees depleted the Rays bullpen. That's a good thing for tomorrow. Yeah, the Rays were going to throw a bullpen day tomorrow. Wouldn't be surprised if they make a roster move and call up a starter. The game in Durham, the AAA team for the Tampa Bay Rays, is probably going to get rained out. I have tickets for it. It's in about 2.5 hours, but it is pouring outside, and I'm not going. I don't want to sit out in the rain and just spend my night just to watch some footage of or just to take some footage of Volpe when he's going to be on TV probably pretty soon. So I think that that game is probably going to get rained out. They're saying 100% chance of storm. So the Rays might call up their starter for that AAA game who didn't pitch today and let him pitch in the major leagues tomorrow, which also probably pretty good for the Yankees. MG says, is Cabrera our 2023 left fielder? That's a great question. So the way I look at it, Aaron Judge is your first priority this winter. And if you sign him, you don't want to sign him to be the center fielder, even though he plays a nice center field. You want to put him in right field. But you also like what Benintendi gave you as the left fielder before he got injured. So I would bring him back also. That leaves center field. You got Harrison Bader out there. I don't think Cabrera's a center fielder. I wouldn't mind if they tried him out there. He looks fine in right field. But I think he can add a lot of value as a fourth outfielder who can also play shortstop and play second base and third base. And we saw him taking lessons on first base from the coaches earlier this week. If you can turn him into a true Marwin Gonzalez type player, back when Marwin Gonzalez was super valuable, I mean, that's a huge player to have on your roster. I do think that they're going to attempt to re-sign Aaron Judge. But if Aaron Judge goes elsewhere, you could see Oswaldo Cabrera being the everyday right fielder. He's got a great arm, switch hitter. So, I don't know. We'll see. Rob John wants a healthy Yankee lineup. So do I. Darth Wacko says, a lot of singles in the first and no home runs. Good sign that the Yankees are getting out of that funk. Yeah, they haven't been picking up a lot of individual singles lately. It's been like, if they score a run, it'll be on a Aaron Judge home run or something like that. Luis Rivera says, is there any way that Hicks can be moved? So he's not a free agent, but nobody's going to want to trade for him. He's got, I think, $30 million left on the contract. I don't see the Yankees being able to move that contract. It looks like one of those deals that you're going to have to eat. You're going to have to release him, designate him for assignment. I mean, he can't be considered a part of this organization going forward. We just talked about the outfield options next year. Even if you lose Judge, you don't want Hicks back in the outfield. I tell you what, I've got a lot of anxiety over the Aaron Judge contract, man. I don't want him to sign somewhere else. But if I were him, I would be hunting the biggest check. Let's see here. Darth Wacko says, Donaldson happy now that he's a papa. You never know why people struggle in this game. Maybe his wife had a tough pregnancy and it's been on his mind for the last several months. There are times when you don't do as well at your job because you got stuff on your mind. That could be it. I honestly think he's just been trying to pull the ball too much, but, hopefully having that pressure off of his, that stress dissipated will help him. We'll see. Bronx Talks says Florial a little shaky the past few games in the outfield.
We spend $250 billion a year on defense.
Yeah, he misjudged another ball tonight, or this afternoon. Ended up popping out of his glove. If it hits your glove, you really should catch it. Right? But, he has not looked fantastic out there. Lori C says, the boos that Hicks got last night were the loudest I'd ever heard. I don't know if it's the loudest I've ever heard somebody booed. I've heard some bad ones. Steve Howe, 1995 Division Series, Game 1. Yankees' first playoff game, first postseason game since 1981. And Steve Howe was a multi-time suspended for drugs relief pitcher who was pretty much ineffective all year. and blew a lot of big games and was just, in general, not a likable guy. Rest in peace, by the way, to Steve Howe. And it's still the only time that I've ever heard an entire stadium boo a home player for their introductions before the first game of the playoffs. Never heard it since. But the entire 56,000 in attendance booed in unison, in harmony, Steve Howe. That's the loudest boos I've ever heard. T. Wood says, last night's Joey Gallo chants were amazing. And that's Yankees fans, you know. I don't think they actually want Joey Gallo back, but they were definitely trying to inflict emotional pain on Aaron Hicks, and it probably worked. He looked like a broken man after the game. Look, we shouldn't take pride in, like, breaking our players, but the guy put in no effort. The guy has just looked, I don't know, disengaged out there. Frankie Baseball says, not a likable guy. Rest in peace, by the way. What a tribute.
Just a bit outside.
Yeah, it is what it is. Miguel Peralta says, Matsui was at the stadium today. Let's hear it for Godzilla. Julio keeps asking, what's Kluber's ERA versus the Yankees now? I don't know. I don't have, like, every statistic in front of me. It's not like I have a producer sending me stats, but you can definitely Google that tomorrow. The stats should be updated. Go to Baseball Reference or ESPN, and you can do the calculation. Darth Wacko also says that Gallo was a better outfielder than Hicks. Well, that's not saying much. Hicks has been atrocious in the outfield. It's not mutually exclusive. They can both suck entirely, and they both did suck. We should have never started the season with both of these guys. Matty D says Stanton really needed that dinger. 100% agree.
I hardly agree.
Kobe Jeet says, what does Kluber say to his teammates after the game? He doesn't have to say anything. That's part of being a professional. The rest of the team looks at it as it's our job to pick up our teammate who had a rough day. So he doesn't owe his teammates an explanation or apology or anything. It wasn't like he quit on him. You know? If he had just walked off the mound on his own accord, then yeah, maybe. But he just didn't have it. That happens. He's a professional, and everybody in that locker room knows it. John Daniel Munoz says, Stanton finally got a pitch he could catch up to. Let's see the velocity on that. 47 miles an hour. Wow, that's a good one. He smashed it. Sam Chrisley says, Judge now flirting with the Triple Crown. He definitely is. His batting average on the season is up to 307. The last I saw, the leader was a rise, and he was hitting about 320. I mean, if this guy wins the Triple Crown and breaks the American League home run record, I mean, how big can a contract get? Might get $40 million per year. So you telling me Cohen won't hand him a 10-year, $400 million contract? Yankees really, really, really screwed up by not signing him before the season. If it's even their intention to sign him, which they say it is. But you got to think that they've got a backup plan. But you can't replace Aaron Judge. He's essentially been worth 4 replacement players combined into one. There's just not enough roster spots to replace Aaron Judge. T. Wood says Bogarts leads the AL at 318. Thank you for dropping the knowledge on us. Yeah, Judge can definitely get there. It helps when you got some guys hitting behind him, so that was big that Stanton had a couple of hits today. Torres is, swinging the bat a little bit better. Last night, last night he almost went deep in the bottom of the ninth, came up just short. But, he's hit some hard balls. He hit a home run the other day against the Twins. So he's coming around. All right, guys, we are going to call it a night, a Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm going to be watching Amadeus, since I'm not going to the game. Story of Mozart. So I will see you guys when I see you. Enjoy the rest of your evening.